If you've ever felt burnt out by group fitness but didn't know what else to do, this is for you. We're chatting with Kari about moving with intention, breaking free from the smash your body mindset, and finding a new way to feel strong.
Hi, I'm Britt.
And I'm Amy, and welcome to the Every Season podcast.
We're here for a fun time, not a long time.
Hopefully we're here for a bit of a long time. Hey Britt,
Hey, Ames.
would you say you need some assistance when it comes to being more aware of your body?
Why? What have you got?
Well, you can download our free 7-step female body awareness kit and see if it helps
Sweet, where?
in the show notes and on our website.
Also, in order for us to be here for a long time,
Please subscribe to our podcast.
We're just having a bit of a chuckle because Kari didn't realise she was coming on the podcast because I didn't make it clear that she was coming on the podcast. I just said, "Do you up for a chat?" At 9:30 at night. There's a lot of confusion.
do you know why? Because sometimes Amy's brain goes so fast that she thinks people are thinking what she's thinking instead of, or assuming, you know what I mean? I think that's what it is.
Like
For
I
sure.
am. I was kind of thinking it was going to head there, but I just didn't think it would be today.
Oh my gosh, it's the best. Anyway, here we are because we're just real, authentic individuals. So, Kari, tell us, what season are you currently in at the moment?
Such a big question. The season that I can think of when you ask me that is like my middle-age solo gym season, I guess. My best season so far, my most understanding season of so far.
Yeah,
I
it's
guess
cool.
I feel like I have a lot of clarity from the last maybe year or so that stemmed from a back injury that made me slow down to really trying to amp up my business by amping up my own training and really, I don't know, I just feel like a lot of things have clicked in the last year and things feel really clear. Things that I used to think were really challenging are feeling really clear. Not that they're not still challenging, but feeling like I understand things a lot better this year. I'm 37 in October, so it feels like, I feel like things are starting to click a little bit in general, but mostly in the gym, which is helpful for my business.
What would you say has made you go in the direction of helping women in their 30s, especially in the fitness side of things?
I feel like if we were 10 or 15 years younger, we would have been introduced to fitness. We were sort of the beginning of group fitness. We saw F45 and stuff start, and to be honest, F45 was why I even got continuous in the gym, if you could say. Before it was just on and off. I always tried different things and it never stuck, and then group training really helped me find my feet in the gym, made me feel comfortable and welcome, and I liked the community. And there was so much going on that was so distracting that you could get in and get a workout done, tune out and be done with it, and walk away feeling accomplished. And that worked for me for a very long time. And then I ended up sort of amping it up a little bit and did CrossFit in and around my pregnancies, which is a very weird time to do CrossFit, but it made me feel alive, I guess.
Why would it be weird to do while you're in your pregnancy? Is it because other people think that, or?
No, because it's really demanding on your body. So it's just really I spent a lot of time modifying exercises because I was either postpartum or pregnant or postpartum again. I did it in between my two kids and then after my second kid. So it's a weird time to start, but I learned a lot from it and loved it, but it definitely helped me tune out even more. I don't know if you've ever been to a CrossFit class. The music's really loud, it's super hectic, and they get you to do a lot of mini sort of workouts. You work on one thing and then lots of really hectic workouts that are really, really challenging. And the camaraderie that everybody has, because you're all doing this really hard shit together, you just feel so good.
Yeah, it's
when
beast
you leave.
mode.
Yeah, beast mode, but with barbells, and it's challenging, but also really hectic. And there's so many people that are come on, and you feel amazing. But it's sort of a well-known thing that you're going to hurt yourself eventually.
Is that how you hurt your back?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to assume.
You know,
but...
with like a bunch of people all going like, yes, go.
So was it like a I don't know what the term is, but like a sudden thing that happened, like in particular, or was
Yeah.
it
Oh,
just like
yeah.
a
It was like an instant, like, oh, I fucked my back here. But it actually, like,
Wow.
it wasn't that bad in the grand scheme of things. I probably had to really lay off like almost anything for like maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I probably couldn't do anything. And then I was like basically scared to move again because I was scared I was going to hurt myself, probably for like 3 months. And then I'm fine now. So it was like a huge wake up call, and it was nobody's fault but mine. But I just realized that for me, that atmosphere, as fun as it was going to lead me down like a very bad path that I was probably going to like continuously get injured from, just because of the type of person that I am. So now I do like more hybrid training. I do like a little bit of weightlifting on the side in a really slow, controlled environment where I'm not like getting, the music and the people in my way. And then I also now like, I'm in the gym by myself, which was something that I really hated for a long time. And now I like so truly cherish those moments, for me and myself in the gym, to the point now where like I put my headphones in, and if somebody talks to me, it's like annoying.
Do you know what? You make such a good point, because like listening to you, I'm like, I'm kind of the same in a way. Like, why do you think? I guess anyone, but especially females in particular, because that's something that you're obviously niching towards, get stuck in that group training, even though they know that, I guess, it's not working. And what I mean by not working is it might not feel right, physically or mentally, but it's something that they've done for years to obviously kickstart their fitness journey.
Look, I think that it doesn't ever have to be something that you like have to leave behind. I just feel like, group classes are the best they've ever been, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. But if your goals in the gym are like specific for you, you're not just going like, I just need a general sense of fitness and I can go in, spend 45 minutes, leave, feel good, know that I'm probably hitting everything like a little bit. And there's some, like we said, like I met you at BFT. BFT has like amazing programming. They've got squat racks. They've got it all. Like it's a step up sort of from F45. CrossFit's like another one again. So like something like a BFT, if you go to and you just want to keep yourself at like a general level of fitness, and the times work for you, and your friend goes there and it keeps you going there, and you're a healthier, better person for it, then by all means. But for me personally, I started to have more specific goals. Like, just as an example, I felt like the group classes were really not allowing me to pay attention to my own body and what I was feeling. And I was sort of just like going through the motions. And the body that came out of that was not a bad body, but it wasn't really someone who was listening to themselves. Because I would like get out and go like, wow, I feel good. But I'm like, I didn't really feel that where I was meant to, but then the clock ticked and I just did the next thing. Like, you just don't have any time, like, to just be in your own body. And as we're getting older, it feels like that time to be in your own body becomes less and less. So when I only have like maybe 4 hours a week, like at best, if I'm going into the gym, like that's my time. So this is where I feel like I'm like reclaiming myself. And I'm not like, oh, I have to go to the gym today. I'm like, I get to go today. And that's the best thing, literally the best part of my day, because I'm not going to lie. Like, I have a FIFO husband. We live in WA. I have friends here. I've got small kids. I look after them alone a lot. Like, that is my time. That is like, nobody mess with me. Of course, sometimes the crash or whatever things happen, but like, this is for me. And before it was like a social thing. Now, like, fuck, I don't have time to be that social anymore.
Yeah.
So the time that I do have, like, needs to count for me. And there are days when I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do this today. But it's habit now, and it just is what it is. And there's going to be some days, like I say this to my clients, some days you win, some days you lose, but they're like your days in the gym, And I learned so much about myself just being in the gym. Like it's truly the most selfish, like beautiful time for you. And I know that's not going to be for everybody. But I do just have a lot of people around me who go to like group fitness and thrash themselves, and they're chasing like heart rate, like acceleration, like endorphins, you know? But then they're coming out of it and they're like wondering why. They're like, you know, how come I'm not like getting that look over there? And I'm like, fuck, I don't even do any cardio. Like I'm purely doing weights and getting all my steps in. And like, I know that I'm lucky that I don't have to do like lots of extra cardio necessarily. Some people, you know, we've all got different genetics, but like, I do feel like really pumping the weights gets people the body that they want.
You make so much sense, because I know for myself, like before I had my baby, I used to do a lot of classes just because it was easy. Like I just go in there, get it done, didn't have to think, smash it out. And I used to like thrive on that endorphins, and I'd be like, yeah, I love that heart rate kind of feeling. And to be honest, it was kind of a bit of competition, because I was like, I wonder what their heart rate is. What's my heart rate at? Am I doing better? You know?
Burn.
Yeah, and then after I had Billy, my back went, like completely went, because he was behind my ribs. So from that point, I couldn't do any of that. Like I couldn't even do Pilates that I used to do like every single day. So I had to go and see a coach, and they literally helped me so much in strength training and weight, and it actually improved me, but it also made me feel strong. And I think that was the difference. When I did those group classes, it was just like, it was a hype, and it was to get that adrenaline going. But then when I do the weight class, I feel stronger. So it makes such a difference. So you make so much sense there, for sure.
Yeah, like I said, it's not going to be for everybody, and some people will just always do the group class thing, and that gets them there, and they are happier and better for it. And like, by all means, I really don't want to shade on like group classes. I just want to like really pump up every individual woman who wants to like be a better version of themselves, to go in and actually focus, which is something people don't want to do. Like, you know, 8 out of 10 of my clients, when they come in their first like few sessions, I'm like, you need to look and see what you're doing. And they're like, I'm not looking at myself. So it's very, very hard to get over that, you know, and sometimes having a coach help you along the way. Like, this is why I have a job, right? People want a bit of guidance for sure, but I'm hoping to sort of really help people online. That's sort of the goal now.
What would you say is the biggest challenge for women when they come back, let's say from pregnancy or postpartum, or they have like an injury or anything like that?
I think probably the hardest thing when you, like, especially if you were like really trying to be your fittest self before you got pregnant or before you got injured, when you're really, really working on yourself and you're spending a lot of time in the gym trying, and then you have a baby and you're told like, whoa, your body's actually been through a ton of trauma, and it's kind of like you need to rehab from the start again. And it's like fine to know that that's going to happen, but then when it actually happens, I think it's like a bit of a kick in the teeth, because you just like, some people really like absolutely get back to their former selves like really quickly. I had prolapse with my first kid, and mentally took me I don't know, 6 months before I even could step foot in the gym again. And even then I was scared for a really long time. But I found a really good pelvic floor therapist, like one in Melbourne and now one here in WA, and they like change your lives. They change your life, and that's a shock, I think. But then obviously I've worked through that, and that's fine. That's just something that I like live with now, and it doesn't affect me on the day to day, thankfully, because I'm really good at managing it. But I guess if you get injured and you don't know, then it's quite the shock as well, because it's one thing to know that you're going into pregnancy and that you're going to have to start again. You can kind of mentally prepare, but when you get injured out of nowhere, I think that's really hard to come back from, because you didn't know you were going to have to rehab and slow down, and you thought everything was going okay. And then I guess when you're in my position, when you have a baby and you get an injury like a prolapse, then it's like a double kick in the teeth. So that's really hard to come back from, I think, mentally. But yeah, I'm 4 years down the track, and it's just something that sort of hangs out in the back of my mind, the tiniest little bit, that like one day this might be a problem. I hope I'm not doing any long-term damage, but the like research isn't there to really know, because women have not strength trained as much pre and postnatally as we are now. So there's all this like new information all the time. And a lot of the experts are saying like that we're going to be fine, but who actually knows that? Hopefully it's going to be fine. I'm living my life like it's going to be fine. Otherwise I'm going to live in fear every day, and I just can't live like that.
Well, no, and I think like this, you know, as we all know, the positive impact, you know, yes, physically, but even more so mentally, you know, that specifically strength training does have, you know, like you said, like, you know, to be able to go through. And I remember like the first time I lift weights now so that I can hold all my bags on my own and I don't need anyone else to do that. Do you know what I mean? And I think like it's so important. But I guess like in those sort of scenarios, and also like you mentioned, when you've got clients who come in and can't look at themselves in the mirror for quite some time, like how do you help them reconnect to their bodies? Because that's something that obviously when you go through something like that and you've gone through it yourself, it's a lot.
A lot. The gym is a really scary place for a lot of people. And I think, you know, understandably so, can be a very scary place. But I think that that is also like a deep rooted thing that people have to like deal with when they come into the gym, and they feel like they're maybe on display a little bit, or that everybody can sense how nervous they are maybe just starting. So the only thing that I've found that works is obviously like I do my best to be supportive to all of my clients and reassure them that like honestly everyone is just staring at themselves. Like for the most part, no one is looking at anybody other than themselves. And anybody else who's looking around is nervous too. So there's that. Hopefully that when people go into their gym space, you know, somebody has shown them around. Like, that's something that we do as PTs. And we have a whole team of people that show people around. So hopefully people aren't walking in and just going like, oh no, I actually have never even been in this space before. This is really scary. But I do think that with more and more time in there, you know, the easier it's going to be. And like good things never come from things that are easy, right? We're always trying to like get on the other side of that hard thing. And that's sort of what the gym is. So if you're not used to going to the gym is a hard thing that you have to get used to. Like just going there and then, you know, actually doing a workout in there is also a hard thing. But when you go there more and more, you like show yourself that you can just do hard things over and over and over again. And that builds a lot of tenacity, and it actually is absolutely life-changing. Like most of my clients within a couple of weeks will be a different person in how they carry themselves in the gym. But it does take a couple of weeks, and it is a little bit of like a mountain that you're climbing, and you like can't really see the view for a while. You know, you're sort of just like, this is really hard, and like I don't even know what's up there. And then you sort of get a taste of it, and that's what makes it motivating, I guess, because people think that they should just be motivated to go to the gym, but like you need to go to the gym to be motivated. So it's sort of like a little catch-22 there. But, you know, build habits, build consistency, and everything gets easier. You know, but you just challenge yourself in different ways, I think, too. So it's one of those things.
I think that like you make such like a good point as well. Like I think, you know, like you said before, as, you know, a PT and someone who's been in the industry for such a long time, taking on that role to be so welcoming and to show people around, you know, like I'm not going to obviously like, you know, I'm not sprouting you just for sprouting you, but like I will always remember your energy when I first met you in the studio. Do you know what I mean? And I think like it's those roles like we were talking about on our podcast with Annie, the Run Club founder, about smiling when we run, you know, to help others, you know, empower others to run, because like a lot of people when they run, they don't look happy, you know, and that's not what we want. So like, you know, I think you know, taking upon that role in, especially if you are in the fitness industry, so to speak, and knowing majority of people do feel like that, especially at the start, you know, taking on that role to create that welcoming space, I think is so important, because you're so right. Like, I mean, I don't know whether I've said it to Brett, but I've said it to so no one is looking at you. Do you know what I mean? Everyone is worried about, you know, what they're doing, you know, and like you said, like everyone else is super nervous and to, or everyone started somewhere. No matter what you do in life, whether or not it's fitness, whether it's career, whether it's business, family, whatever, you have to start somewhere, you know, and it's about the journey, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely.
What would you say is one of the I can't even talk tonight.
It's late.
Britt has a wine right next to her, by the way.
I've had like 2 sips, thank you. What's one of the mindset shifts that changes everything for your clients that you would say?
I think when they start like feeling strong and they get a taste of it, and like they see the weights like that they're picking up start to go up, and like I am absolutely my client's biggest hype girl, like to the point where they're like, oh my god, shut up. Like like you're so cheering me on because I'm genuinely so stoked, you know. So hopefully that like passes into them and people get stoked for themselves. Like this is the thing, is you kind of get like addicted to the wins a little bit, and then people get really addicted to like just slamming the weight on, and then it's like a bit of a hold on a second, let's bring it back a little bit, because people get like, they just get so pumped about it. It's such an awesome feeling when you know that you're getting stronger, and if you're like using an app and you're tracking your weights and you like know for sure that you were stronger than last week, feels really nice. But the problem is that as you get more and more...
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt, but don't forget about us. Please subscribe.
Okay, back to the episode.
The gym, those wins get less and less, but it's like still just as addicting. So you want them just as bad, but they don't happen as often. So you have to keep showing up. So I think that, like, I always think the universe made it really easy for people to get started in the gym because there's so many wins in the beginning. So if that doesn't motivate you to keep going, you won't stay, because later there's sort of few and far between.
How do you juggle it all? So like with the kids, if your husband's away a lot, then you're training heaps of people, then you want to fit your own time in. Like, how do you juggle it all?
It is a challenge for sure. My parents were here for 6 months, so I was like so lucky. But they've gone home now, which is how it's been like since COVID. They've come 3 times, so I've been really lucky. In the last like year and a half, I've had them in 4 years I've had them like for a year and a half, so that's been amazing. They're super duper helpful. When they're not here, I have a lot of people that help me. I have like a friend that takes my dog. I have 2 different friends that take my dog one day each. My friends are really helpful, like, you know, they're like drop kids off. I have kids that come here sometimes and we all help each other out. I do a lot, like an extreme amount of meal prep. Like if you saw my freezer, you would, like, I'm ready for the apocalypse when it comes to that. I was a chef previously, so I cook and I batch cook and I fucking make sure that there's food in there.
For the whole family, yeah? Or just you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. No, for everybody. Yeah.
I love that.
I do all my husband's food when he's home, which is a real pain. And then I just make stuff for the kids. Yeah. It's hard. It's really hard. But one thing that I don't compromise on is sleep, for sure. Like, I'm in my bed by 9 o'clock, for sure. And I'm really sorry that you guys are still up for this. I didn't know this was happening. Okay. But I'm up at 5 and I work 3 days and I put my kids in the creche one other day so I can get to the gym 4 times. Like, and I get in, and because we're so tight on time, that's another thing that makes the gym, like, if I don't get in there and go now, like, I'm going to miss it. So that's like why group classes don't work, because I've got 2 kids and I'm not necessarily going to make the time. And the other thing too is when you're relying on a class to do it for you, if you miss it or something happens that day and it doesn't go to plan, what are you doing now?
Yeah.
You're going to walk into the gym, you're going to look around, you might like use the lat pull down because it's the only machine you know how to use, and then you're going to go hit the treadmill for 20 minutes and then you're going to go home. So
it sounds like the story that's pretty
true.
Yeah.
I know. I used to do that for sure.
These are the girls that I work with. They like come in and they're like, fuck, treadmill. Yeah.
Do you know what would be really interesting? To just like, I know this sounds really creepy, but I don't mean it in a creepy way, but just like sit on the gym floor. Sit on the gym floor and see how many people actually give it that look, and you pinpoint how many people. Then you're looking at people when you're doing that.
In saying that, though, there's more women in the gym now than there has ever been, and a lot of the times I look around and I go, this floor is dominated by women, and I'm so here for it.
That is so sick.
But that's also intimidating too sometimes. I like feel like that can also be a lot for someone who feels like they don't know what's going on. It's like, forget the men looking at me, like, are the women going to be looking at me and seeing what I'm doing? am I doing it right? And like, and then there's that like other women competition fear too, which is like totally normal. There's some like fucking jacked girls in there, and some people look really good, and you're just like, holy heck, like even I'm out of place, But it's cool because when I've worked in this gym for like a year and a half, and I've literally watched people change. Like, over the last year and a half, I've seen people come in and they look like totally different people, and I'm like, I've actually seen the whole thing because I've been here the whole time, and every time I'm like, you are killing it.
I love that.
I'm watching you. Like, I see people in their dedication, and that's really inspiring too. So I think that the gym community, when you get into it, I think it's really like everyone really keeps to themselves at first. Like, honestly, sometimes even like the first like 4 to 6 months, people are not really saying a lot to each other. But then after a little while, you're like, yo, I see you here every day, the same time that I'm here. And people start sort of like, oh, hey, what's up? Like, I see it happen a lot too. So it's cool. Like, it's a quiet-ish community because everyone's sort of doing their own thing. But if you're in there, a lot around the same times, you see the same people, like, it is actually such an awesome community, and I see a lot of really cool things happening. But it is weirdly quiet too because everyone is so like internally focused. So yeah, I don't know. I think the gym can just be like a really cool place that can tick a lot of boxes for a lot of people, and sometimes not in a positive way. So it is like a little bit of a challenging place, I think, for some people, but it's perseverance for sure. That's a big one. Just keep going.
I have kind of two questions. Did you laugh pretty? Or
No,
you
I
just
was going to
coughed?
say something, and I'm like,
Go, say it.
oh, wait for No, I was just going to say, one, I heard you say that you go to bed at 9 o'clock, like, straight away. I want to know.
So sorry
how-
that you're still awake.
No, how do you do that? Like, how do you go to bed, just switch off and go to sleep? Is there something you do? Like, is there a ritual that you do?
Yeah.
Or okay, give us your
I-
secrets. I want to know.
Your sleep routine.
Oh, I'm really like 6 out of 7 nights I will do this. Every once in a while I'm like, you deserve to stay up and stare at a screen, like, and turn off a little bit. But for the most part, the last hour before bed, I am taking a shower, like really calming myself down, taking a shower. I take like all of my vitamins at night, which includes magnesium. So I'm like sort of prepping myself for sleep, and then I read a book for like 45 minutes, like, and that is me done. And sometimes the book will give me nightmares, and I'm like, this was a silly idea, I shouldn't have done this. But most of the time,
What the fuck are you reading, girl?
I just read this really
I
insane.
reckon you would read something I would read, like murder or
Like,
mystery.
I didn't know though. I just go to the library and I Google anything that looks good and it has over a 4 out of 5. I'll read it. So I end up with some really wild stuff sometimes. But that is actually what that is actually what I do to get. It's not fancy. And I say this to my clients a lot. If I have something that's really, really bothering me, I will write it down and I will work it out like pen to paper so that my mind feels clearer when I go to bed. Because, and I'm sure you've all done this, if you don't, you're gonna wake up in the middle of the night for whatever reason, you've got kids or something happens or you have to go to the bathroom or whatever it is, and then you can't go back to sleep and your mind is like doing this rolling like, oh shit. And even if you're like ready for it the next day, sometimes when it's like stressful, it still keeps you up. Even if you know what you need to do, it just might be like a busy morning or gotta get something in before, whatever it is, like. So that helps me if I know that I've got something really wild the next day on. I'll try to get it out, and it's not perfect, but that's usually what I do, just to prep. And like my husband, honestly, he'll be like, "All right, see you later," because I'm like, "It's 8 o'clock. I'm going to bed." Whatever we're watching, if we happen to be watching something, I'm like, "It's half an episode. I'm turn it off. I gotta go to bed."
And this is if the night goes smoothly and your 2-year-old doesn't get up or your 4-year-old doesn't get up. And
So I'm in a really beautiful like middle age where the 4-year-old doesn't nap, so he's cooked right now, so he goes to bed like pretty easily. Of course, he's still tantrums or whatever, but the 2-year-old's in a cot, so I'm just like, you're in the cot, you're really tired, and I'm in a really good little period right now where I don't have that problem. My 4-year-old still does that sometimes, but like my husband has been away for 2 weeks and he's gone for another 2, and I'm like, please be good to me. So yeah, but sometimes there are things that are out of your control that wake you up. So yeah, but sleep is really like my number one non-negotiable, and I do think that I probably should sacrifice sleep a little bit to get more things done. But I just can't do it.
Do you know what? You make such a good point, though. As we're talking, my alarm has gone off. Meditate and brain dump right now. But, that's something that, I've worked on for a while because that's something I really struggled with. And I know, even over the last, couple of weeks, I normally at, 8:30, I'll have my phone off, similar to you. An hour before I go to bed, no screens. I haven't been doing that, and my sleep has been so shit. You know, even though if I'm the brain dumping's massive for the brain, and I always suggest, including Brittany, to do brain dumping or some sort of journaling. So that's why I was laughing when you were talking about it. So thank you. I appreciate it.
It's like a nudge.
Yeah.
I think I might even lose my voice by the end.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I think you make such a good point, and it is so important. What advice would you give, say, a girl who stopped her 6-year relationship with F45 or BodyFit or CrossFit or whatever, because her lifestyle's changed and whatever, and she can't make classes like you said. She signed up to a gym. They've given her no sort of tour or anything like that. She has no bloody clue what she's doing. Where would you advise her to go?
Well, if you are lucky and have some extra cash flow and can have a trainer, I would highly suggest getting a trainer in the gym. If you have no idea, let's say you've been in an F45 or whatever, and you've been using dumbbells and you're stunned by a cable machine and don't really know how to use the leg press because it's been 10 years since you walked into a commercial gym, probably get somebody to help you, or find somebody online who has, some sort of intro maybe to the gym, or if there's people that do programming and you're looking at their stuff online and you like the sort of stuff that they're doing, maybe head towards somebody that can guide you. That's probably would be the first thing that I would say to do is don't go in it on your own, because you're going to do that so many times, and maybe it'll work out for you that you just I don't know, figure out some machines and that feels good enough for you. But you need a program for sure. I would definitely say that it needs to be on an app so you can track it. And preferably somebody holding you accountable, whether that's a friend who's coming with you or who you're checking in with. Did you go? Okay, we're going. I can go with you on Tuesday, but the rest of the week I'm on my own, whatever it is. Try to find somebody to help you. Just feel a little bit more comfortable there. There's so many different ways that you could go about it, but don't wander in there aimlessly and do the same machine 4 times a week because that's the only thing that you know how to use. You need structure, you need periodization, and you need to do a lot of learning now, because you don't have somebody standing over every, set that you do, making sure that you're going to do it. That's one thing that, a lot of people will miss out on.
One more burpee. How many burpees can you do?
They're pushing them and they just think that they can't.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie, when I was
You were a hot ass.
Oh.
No, it was great. I loved it. But you were a hot ass.
I think maybe just to you, because not just to you, but to the right people. Because
100%.
That needed, that really, I could, could tell that that's what they sort of wanted.
No, but that's the thing. You were, and again, like you said before, this is no, BodyFit and F45, phenomenal brands. I adored them, and met so many incredible people, including you. It started my own fitness journey and stuff. But
yeah, me too.
That was one thing that you stood out because you tailored. I remember Em and I used to always say it. You would essentially tailor what we needed in that class, whereas that's not what you didn't get that. Do you know what I mean?
Not to the individual, they just go around and tell everyone it was a competition.
100%. And that's fine. And, it served me really, really, really well during those days. But that's one thing, because you could use it. And I mean, I push myself anyway, but a lot of people don't. And like you said, it's pushing those boundaries and seeing, a lot of people, we have so much more potential than what we show, and so many people, like you said, just need that support and that accountability. And I think that's such a great answer that you've made.
yeah, I hope that people get the confidence and the courage to go and try it and do something that's like really purely for themselves. And especially if they don't like it at first, I won't lie, like when I got injured, when I hurt my back and was sort of forced to get out of classes, and also my work was picking up and I could not make those times as well. I was scared to hurt myself, and it also like just didn't suit anymore. Like I train at like 1 p.m. now. Like there's nothing going at that time anywhere. I really had to push through. Like I had to really remind myself. I had to get in there every single day and remind myself why I was doing what I was doing. And it was a battle. There was like, a good many months where this was a battle. And that's where it sort of, my style of training had to change a little bit. And I kind of flowed into a couple of different things to find the sort of type of training that I really love to do now. So I think that's the other thing that's really important to mention is to, if someone is helping you and you like it, but it's like not really for you, like you don't have to keep doing something that you don't like. There's a lot of different things to do, but also in saying that, try to stick with something for a little while because anything that's worth doing is going to be challenging in the beginning, I think too. So I don't think anyone's going to get a gym program, start training by themselves and love every minute from day one. But I do also think there's a lot of different things you can be doing in the gym, and maybe whatever it is you're doing doesn't have to be the only thing. I'm such a big fan of somebody like hitting Pilates once a week and then strength training a couple times a week and then going for a run on the weekend. Like that is sick. But if you're like only doing Pilates and only running, it's good to try and find your own hybrid that works for you,
100%. I love that. Controversial question, but I would love to know your answer. What's your view on high rocks?
I thought you were going to say Pilates. I was like, this is the one everyone's talking about. High rocks. High rocks is
We
the
can talk about
boring
Pilates. I want to
part
know
of
your
CrossFit.
I want to know your answer. Absolutely. Yeah.
I think high rocks is like the boring part of CrossFit that I don't like. So I'm like, oh, no thank
I'm
you.
putting it.
I don't want to go for a run and
Right to the
wobble.
point.
Yeah, don't know.
No,
She's
thanks.
hard ass.
No, but like fine, if you love it, by all means, that's not for me. Like I like the skill stuff.
Yeah. The really hard
that
things
it's
like
not-
climbing ropes and shit.
That shit is hard.
No, the hardest
No,
stuff.
I'm talking like weightlifting. I'm talking about like
Yeah.
proper like barbell movements and stuff. But I do think that if you're a high rocks athlete, you're fucking really strong and really fast and good for you. If you love it, that's so great. It's not for me though personally, but like whoa, it's gotten so many people so amped and like into amazing shape and like building an awesome community. So I'm like, yeah, I'm all for it. It's just not for me personally. Pilates, like I can't tell you how many women have come to me who have done Pilates for so many years and they are sick and tired of not having the body that they want. They're just like, they're over it. Pilates is really fucking hard. And I think it's a really good addition to what your strength training should be your main sort of thing, but it's not going to get you the body that you want. It just does not test you and progressively overload you. It gives you an amazing core and really good core strength and the ability to withstand a very annoying feeling for a very long time. But I don't think that it's like shouldn't be your go-to. But by all means, like have it as part of your routine for sure. Once, twice a week max.
I love it.
That's my actual
No, I love that. That's great. Yeah. You're talking
I
my
just want people to do what
personal
they love though too though, right?
And
Strength training
100%.
needs to be at the top of your list.
and
Like
Everyone
everyone
doing something at the end of the day.
Correct.
But I do feel like Pilates is one of those things. I quite like doing it, but it does come down to the trainer as well because again, so like it's like those group classes and they literally don't like go around and speak to every single person. They just say, do this exercise, do that exercise. But if you have that trainer that's going around to each individual person making sure that they're doing the technique correctly, because you're going to be doing it correctly in those classes to be able to get something out of it. That's what makes a difference, I think, personally.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. I did Pilates for a long time and I still will like occasionally randomly do a Pilates class if it suits my schedule, but it's definitely not my priority.
Go-to.
Weights gives you like if you want to look toned, is what everybody wants, that toned look, because they want muscle, they want definition, and that comes from weights, like heavy weights. So for me, that's a no-brainer. Plus, you feel badass.
Okay. 100%. Oh, well, this has been such a fantastic phone call. Like, it's just been...
Nice. 9 o'clock, nearly 10 o'clock. Now I'm going to be wide awake because I've been staring into that white light and sharing.
Do you know what? I was thinking before, I was like, oh, sometimes I have a shower, but I'm going to definitely have a shower and calm down. Thank you for coming on. Now, we will put it all in the show notes, but give yourself... I always say sprout, but I don't know what the saying is. I don't know. I'm done with saying. It's my brain. Where can people find you if they want to train with you and be coached by you?
Fly to WA or...
Well, we do it online now, so like people can be coached by you. So give yourself a shout out, gal. Where can people find you?
I'm pretty much only on Instagram, Kari Lee Fitness. I do train out of Roar Active in Bibber Lake in Perth, but yeah, not for a very long time. It's such a tough one. In person at Roar Bibber Lake and online at Kari Lee Fitness on Instagram. Online for the time being, I guess, for all of you in Melbourne.
Well, everyone can receive all that information in the show notes, and thank you. That's been
Thanks so much
awesome.
for having me.
Howdy, it's us again. Hope you enjoyed the episode.
Don't forget to download the awareness kit and subscribe to the podcast. Have a fabulous day.